A 12-year-old kid from Colorado was playing with a Fortnite toy during his Zoom class. Something that seems very innocent, but him playing with this Fortnite toy would cause him to not only be suspended from school, but also have the police show up at his door. This story is just honestly sad to see. The way this school handled this situation was terrible, and the kid literally did nothing wrong. He's completely innocent here. Like, literally, this is the dumbest story I've ever read on this channel. Without a doubt, it's the dumbest one. Hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of Zoopsies. Today, we have a huge oopsie. Actually, I don't even know if we can call it an oopsie at this point, because pretty much everything that happened here was just, like, the school's fault. It wasn't really an oopsie. They intentionally, like, called the police on this kid. You know, they intentionally suspended him. Like, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't an oopsie. It was just a school making some terrible decisions. Like, literally absolutely terrible decisions. Anyways, let's just dive into this story already. Please subscribe. I'm trying so hard to hit 250,000 subscribers, and I need all the help I can get. And also join discord.gg/wasted right now. Do it or else. Colorado school suspends black boy for playing with toy gun during virtual class. Boy's parents, Curtis Elliott Jr. and Danny Elliott, say police visit to their home terrified them and put their 12-year-old in danger. Now, I just want you guys to take a good look at this toy gun that the kid was playing with. All right, take a good look at it right now. Like, it literally looks so innocent. It looks like a toy, nothing else. Like, if you look at that and you're like, I think that's a real gun, you have something wrong with you, okay? It's obviously a toy. I mean, it says nerf on the side of it, and then it says Fortnite. Like, if you can't pick up that that's a toy, you got something wrong with you, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, point is, that's obviously a toy. Anyways, moving on in the article, a 12-year-old boy in Colorado Springs was suspended from school for 5 days for playing with a toy gun during a virtual art class, an infraction that resulted in Grand Mountain School sending a police officer to the pupil's home. Now, I would just love to know why the police had to be involved in this situation. Like, a kid is playing with something that is obviously a toy. I mean, it's a toy gun. I get, you know, like, guns in school, that's not good. But point is, there's no reason for a police officer to have to show up because a kid is playing with a Nerf gun in his Zoom class. Like, what could possibly make that happen? Who decided to send a police officer to this kid's house over a Nerf gun? That's insane. The boy's parents, Curtis Elliott Jr. and Danny Elliott, say the police visit terrified them and put their son Isaiah in danger. They said, and I quote, "I never thought you can't play with a Nerf gun in your own home because somebody may perceive it as a threat and call the police on you." You know, I don't think any of us ever thought that. You're telling me that somebody thought that that toy right there was a threat? Like, what? Is a piece of foam being shot at somebody gonna harm them? Did they actually think that that was like a real gun? Like the parents said, calling the police on this kid and saying that he is a threat with a weapon, because I'm guessing that they thought that this was real and not a toy. Somehow, some way, they couldn't pick up that it was a Nerf gun, whenever it should be so obvious. But yeah, they called the police on this kid as a threat. That's not good. The police are gonna come to this kid's house and they're gonna treat him like a threat because that's what they were told. Like, yes, that puts their kid in danger. This school should be ashamed. Like, literally ashamed. You put one of your students in serious danger. You called the police on him because he was playing with a Nerf gun, said he was a threat who had a weapon. Like, you don't do that. Maybe just talk to the parents, be like, this kid probably shouldn't be playing with a Nerf gun in school. It's not the best look. No, instead, they suspend the kid for a week and call the police on him, have the police show up at his door. Like, that is no way to handle this situation at all. You know, I don't even think it's a situation. It was a kid playing with a Nerf gun in his own house. He's not even in school. The kid was not charged, but he now has an entry on his disciplinary record saying he brought a facsimile of a firearm to school and a record with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Another boy who was studying at Elliott's house was also reportedly suspended. So now this 12-year-old kid has to live with a record showing that he literally brought a firearm lookalike into his school, which which he didn't, by the way. He was playing with a Nerf gun in an online class in his own home. He did not bring this to school. He just had it during a Zoom class. But point is, this looks terrible on his school record, and it looks way worse than what it really was. And who knows what this kid's future is gonna look like now because of that. Like, how is he supposed to get into a college or, you know, any good schools if he has this on his record? Like, if this kid wanted to go through college, wanted to try and get into a good school, he basically has no shot at it at this point. Like, this school could have possibly ruined this kid's life. And now the kid also has a criminal record with the sheriff's office at 12 because he was playing with a Nerf gun in his house during online class. Like, how is this a thing? How is this a thing, dude? How could a school do this to a student? I don't get it. Danny Elliott accused school administrators of acting irresponsibly given police violence against black people that has caused protests across the US. She said, and I quote, "With the cultural events going on right now, especially for young African Americans, you calling the police and telling them that he could have a gun, you put his life in jeopardy." And I completely agree with that. There was no reason for them to suspend the kid in the first place, but to also call the police on this kid because he was playing with a Nerf gun in his online class. Like, that's just nuts. Nuts, dude. That shouldn't happen. Like, how is this a thing? You know, a student should feel safe going to school. He should feel safe, you know, just sitting in his online Zoom class, doing whatever. If he wanted to pick up one of his toys and, you know, hold it or whatever during his online class, who cares? He's in his own house. I'm sure that he's still paying attention to the lesson as much as you could in school. Like, what led them to call the police on this kid? I don't understand. It's so nuts. In a statement on Facebook, the school said it cannot provide details on what happened during the class on the 27th of August, 3 days into a remote learning semester. The school also said, and I quote, "We never have or ever will condone any form of racism or discrimination." The statement said, "Safety will always be number one for our students and staff. We follow board policies and safety protocols consistently, whether we are in person or distance learning." Okay, I'm sorry, but this is not following a board policy or a safety protocol at this point. Like, there are definitely some things that should be treated differently if you're in person at school or if you're distance learning. Like, those should not be treated the same way. You shouldn't have the same protocols for that. Like, this kid has something on his school record saying that he brought something that looks exactly like a gun into school, like into the literal school building where a bunch of kids are. Like, if that was true, if what the report said was absolutely true, he brought something that looks exactly like a gun into a school building, that would be bad. That would literally be a threat. Like, I would be able to understand all this stuff that happened if that was actually the case. Thing is, though, that's not the case. Kid was at home through distance learning, you know, at his house, playing with one of his toys from Fortnite, a Nerf gun. And the Fortnite Nerf guns look absolutely nothing like real guns. Not at all whatsoever. There's reasons not to treat some things the same way. Like, you can't treat this as he took a replica of a gun into a school. That never happened. Like, this system is so broken. You know, you'd think schools would care about their students and not want to literally probably ruin their entire life. According to the Elliots, the art teacher emailed them to say she had notified the vice principal that her son was distracted and playing with a fake gun. The parents assured the teacher it was a toy gun, they said, sharing a photo of the zombie hunter in question, and said Isaiah would be dissuaded from displaying it in the future. But a school resource officer reviewed a recording of the class, according to a police report obtained by the KOAA, an NBC affiliate TV station. The deputy wrote that the teacher told the vice principal she assumed it was a toy gun, but was not certain. What do you mean, not certain? Look at that. Tell me how you're like, this could possibly be actually a gun. Like, that is a toy, okay? I don't care. You know that. You know that that is a toy. You don't have to say, well, I think it might not be one. Like, that's probably what caused all of this. You saying that it might not be a toy caused the police to come to his house, caused his kid to have his life put at risk. Like, honestly, this teacher should be fired. How can you say that you're not certain that this is a toy? Obviously, it's a toy. At the Elliott's home, deputies reportedly warned the boy that if he had brought a toy gun to school, they could have filed criminal charges. Danny and Curtis Elliott said footage of the class revealed that their son was not not waving the gun as the teacher alleged, but moving it from one side of a couch to the other. Okay, two things here. First off, the police say if this kid brought this Nerf gun to school, he could have gotten criminal charges. But the school already treated this as if he brought a replica gun into the school building. Like, the school shouldn't be saying that it's him bringing it into a school building if the police themselves are like, we can't criminally charge you because this was just online and you're at your house. But if you were to bring it into a school, you could get criminal charges. Like, why isn't the school handling this the same way as the police? Makes absolutely no sense. And then the other thing, this teacher is ridiculous. She alleged that the student was waving a Nerf gun at her, but he was just moving it in the background. He picked it up and moved the toy. Like, this teacher is literally a Karen, okay? She felt threatened because a kid was playing with a Nerf gun because he picked it up and moved it from one side of a couch to the other. How threatening. Like, please. I'm sorry, but this situation is literally so insane. How does this happen? Danny Elliott questioned why the school called the police before notifying them and contended that the action put Isaiah's life in danger. Referencing Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old who was shot dead in 2014 by a Cleveland police officer while holding a BB gun. So the school didn't even notify the parents that the police were going to be coming to their door? That's insane. Like, why are the police doing like a raid on their house over a toy gun? Well, I mean, the answer is because this teacher said that she wasn't 100% sure if it was a toy gun, so the police have to treat it as if it is a gun. So, you know, it's literally the teacher's fault. And also the school itself for not handling this as a different situation than the kid bringing a gun replica into school. Like, that's not the same thing. I'm sorry, I don't care if you're supposed to follow the same protocols no matter what. It's different here, all right? He's at home. He's not in a school with a bunch of kids. Like, that threat, even if he had a replica gun at his own house, is not even comparable to what the threat is if it's at a school with thousands of students. Like, obviously that shouldn't be treated the same. I'm not stupid for thinking that. He was in tears when the police came, she told the Post of her son. He was very scared. He said, "Mommy, I had butterflies in my stomach. I was scared and thought I was going to jail." The Elliots have decided to pull their son out of school, hoping to find a place at a school adapted to working with students with attention deficit disorder. His mother said she told administrators, "Black children cannot have that sort of thing on their record. You are reducing his chances at success." And I completely agree here. This kid having all this terrible stuff on his record is without a doubt reducing his chances at success. Like, this school should literally be ashamed of themselves, especially the teacher. This whole entire situation could have been handled way easily by saying no more than 4 words to this kid. The teacher literally could have just said, "Put the toy away," and boom, the situation is solved. But instead they handled it the worst way possible. Anyways, that was way too much stupid for me today. Huge shout out to my channel members, Ace Woman for being in the Patrick tier, as well as Silly String and Red Rack for being in the SpongeBob tier. If you guys do want to see some more of my content, I'm sure that you will absolutely love it. Just click one of those thingies up on the screen. And yeah, bye.